Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Israel Connection. I'm Esti, and my guest today is Naama O. She is the CEO of SparkIL. It's a social FinTech startup using P2P lending to provide crowdfunded, interest-free loans to small Israeli businesses, fostering social impact and Israel engagement. She founded Belong in 2018 to connect Israelis and world Jewry. And in 2020 began an international community building initiative while consulting for nonprofits and government agencies. She's formerly the founding regional director for the Israeli American Council, IAC, in Greater Boston. She holds a master's in public administration from Harvard. She's a board member for several Israeli organizations, and she lives in Israel with her husband and 4 children, 3 of whom are currently in the IDF.
All true.
Hi, Naama. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So for those of us who don't know what SparkIL is, what can you tell us about SparkIL, the impact it's done, what the purpose of SparkIL is, and how did you get into it?
Oh, wow. So I'll start with giving a few words what it's about, and then I'll go back and saying how I got into this. SparkIL is actually quite new. We're here for 3 years, up and running. We support small Israeli businesses with interest-free loans, something that most don't do. And by helping these micro and small businesses with interest-free loans, we really support the ones that don't get credit in banks, but we support the ones that really have social value that we want to help. Either they do things in environment or they do things in education, but there are also lots of new immigrants, Haredi, Arabs, single parents, you name it. We are there to help them. But the beauty of SparkIL isn't just about helping them with interest-free loans. What we actually do is that once we approve the loans and they go through a thorough process to see that they really are able to pay back their loans, then they go on the SparkIL platform. And anyone in Israel and around the world can go on the site and lend any amount to any business of their choice, and the full amount of their loan goes directly to this business. So we're actually creating a community of lenders worldwide to support these businesses that we already vetted in Israeli society. And it's inspiring to hear the stories of the businesses, and it's super inspiring to hear also the lenders and what they're doing and why they want to support. So it's really a way to help that helps from far away in a very easy and tangible way. This is an initiative of the Jewish Agency and Ogen, which is 2 very large organizations that we have great backing. And I got to this, actually, you read a little bit of my bio, but it kind of puts together these 2 of my main passions. One is really helping the ones that are less seen in society, the one that need that boost, and that resonates with me very much. And the second is how do we create a stronger connection between Jews throughout the world. I really believe in the concept of peoplehood. I really believe in the fact that we're here for one another, and this platform really makes that happen from far, from close. And we do many other things of educational things that we'll talk about it as we move forward, but that's kind of how. So when I learned about this and they approached me when they wanted to start this organization, I just felt that it was just the right fit for me in order to everything that all my passions kind of come together, and to start something new, which I always love doing. Everything in my career I started from scratch.
So I assume that after October 7th, things have changed with the organization.
Yes.
I guess the type of businesses you help now, the type of people, business owners that you help. So with everything that's going on, I'm sure, there are hundreds of thousands of Israelis serving as reserves right now. A lot of them are business owners, and I'm sure it's been very difficult. I know a lot of people lost their businesses. How do you help those people that are like hanging on by a strand, with their businesses right now?
So true. So actually, we started this a year and a half before the war started. So when we started out, we really were thinking about how do we help businesses in the social and geographic periphery of Israel. But when October 7 hit, we knew that we needed to expand who are helping, and in a vast way. So we really immediately, I think it was less a week or 10 days later, we opened an emergency loan fund. And with amazing partners with like JFNA and the Jewish Agency and Ogun, but many others that also very, very heartwarming, I would say, philanthropists and the government and many others came together really to see the ones that needed it. So in the beginning, we were talking a lot about what's happening in the Gaza and then up into the north. But as we continue, and until now, we understand, like you said, that the IDF reservists need our support very much.
Mm.
So we are in collaboration with many organizations that support IDF soldiers, so they know that they can, the reservists, so they know that they can come to us if they want to start a business, if they need to come back and start something new, or their businesses were unattended and now they need support. So what does it mean when they come to us? First of all, they apply for an interest-free loan. And again, this is for 5 years. There is no such thing in Israel in order to help them. But once they do receive the loan, we also connect them with a mentor in collaboration with our partner organizations like Hidek Shemesh and Ogun. They have a whole community of business owners, lots of educational aspects that they can learn, and they can learn from each other, webinars, so much more, and lots of trips and missions that come from around the world and also from the US that come to Israel. Either they come independently or they come by the Jewish Agency. They come and meet the businesses. When they come and meet the businesses, of course, it's also a way to support them and buy from them and really be part of how they revive from where they were when they came back.
So, given the different circumstances of people, especially now during the war, how do you approach each situation differently? And what do you think are the most important needs with these kinds of crises?
So, first of all, you need to act quickly. That's the most important thing to do, because it takes time, a long time, unfortunately, many times, for the government to respond. And NGOs have the opportunity, if they're really, they know how to work quickly, really to respond in a way that can help in the right time. So I think that's number one, to be able to be flexible and really quick in order to do so. And of course, have the right partners in advance in order to be able to reach out and say, we need your support even more in order to help others. So, and luckily we have that. And the second thing is really to understand the needs. And for example, we for also after October 7th, then again now recently after the Iran operation, we understood that they need a gap of a few months until they start paying their loan, because they're again they went to reserve, so they need air breathing.
Yeah.
They need us. So we gave them a few months until they have to start paying back their loan. They don't have to start paying from the start. So it's really a way for us to understand the needs in the field. And sometimes they come to us and they don't really need a loan. We know that they need a mentor. So we said, wait, don't take a loan yet. Have someone walk you through it, or take a loan and have someone walk you through and see how you come back to your feet. So it really is I think the most important thing here is to see the person. And that's what we do. We're not a bank.
Right.
We have a license from the Israel Market Authority. We're licensed. Everything is fine, but we don't see people as numbers. We see people as people. So when we learn about the person, we hear their needs, we're able to kind of create them the right fit. And that's the beauty of what we do. I mean, it's not like, not in super big numbers. We're in numbers that we gave over 580 loans, almost 40 million shekels. It's big numbers in a short time, but still, it's so we see the people and then they feel it the same way. That's what's important to us.
And that's very important, I think, to work directly with the people, to know that you're giving to a person that needs it and not a big organization, that you never know what they do with the money.
Exactly. That's the beauty of the peer-to-peer lending, what you just mentioned, because it's not only that we know exactly who the right person, when you put them on the platform, and you, wherever you are in the world, go on the platform and you can scroll and read their stories, see their pictures, learn about them, why they need the loan, who are they about. You can actually decide who you want to lend to. And that creates that connection. You get a repayment from them. You get updates, what's happening with them. You really can create, and of course, you can come and visit them. So we do that with anyone that comes on the platform. And we also do that in educational areas, meaning we created educational toolkits all about Jewish values, all about Kol Yisrael Arevim Ze Lev Ze, mutual responsibility, about a new way of giving by the 8 steps of Maimonides. It's like the highest level of giving when you help someone, you give them an interest-free loan. So we go and we work with schools, with synagogues, with Hillels, with different campus groups, in order to instill these values with tools to learn about Israeli society, learn about the people and the businesses. And at the end of each session of this, each child, each student gets a $36 gift card in order to be able to choose their business of their choice and create their connection. So there's so much that can be done and that is being done. And we have already so many schools and campuses, and we have fellows on campuses that this is just growing. You know, we every time we create a new prototype and a new way of we're spreading this word out, and it's beautiful to see how it's catching. So I also appreciate this conversation with you, because whoever is hearing this, you know, can connect us. They can come and be a lender on the platform, but they can connect us to a school, a synagogue, a campus of their choice, and say, oh, I want this to happen here. I want my children also to be exposed to this.
That's amazing. I think that's something my generation would have loved to have back in the day, but you know, we're a little too old for this now. But we're, you know, it's great to be at schools and talk to children who might have ideas for the future and what they want to do. That's great. So we mentioned earlier that 3 of your kids are serving in the IDF right now. I assume some reserved and some duty. Some active duty. And as a mom, I can imagine how hard it must be to have 3 of your kids in there. And are they in Gaza right now?
Thank God, no. I had enough months of Gaza. I had enough months of Lebanon. I even had a few months of Syria, and now I have them as back.
Oh,
so
wow.
I would say super challenging. One is a reservist, one is a standing he's already company commander, and one just started the army. But the 2 boys, the elder ones, they're in the trap paratroopers, parachuters unit. They were many from October 7th for many months. Off some like reserve off and on, and the other one is still. I can't even explain how challenging it was. And at the same time, I felt that I was lucky to have such a opportunity to spread light and spark in the world with Spark, because it just got them off my mind and the danger and what they're at. But I can't say that it didn't have a toll. I have to be frank. It's part of the think living here. I love Israel and I love my country. I mean, I lived 12 years of my life outside of Israel, some as a child and some with my husband and 4 kids. I'm super happy that we're back. But again, it has challenges. So, you know, you can't do it. But so my kids anyway would have come back. I just want to say, so I didn't want it soldiers.
So how did that experience impact the way you view the work that you do? Because I'm sure it changed things for you.
It did. First of all, my kids, they spread Spark in their units for all the reservists that need help. So it was so funny. They became ambassadors and spreading the word as well. But it really enabled in a very, very dark time, which I must say is not over. And we still have 48 hostages in Gaza, and the toll is so heavy. But the opportunity to be able to shed light in the world is rewarding. So even though there's the difficult times, and we have unfortunately very good friends, 2 pairs of very good friends that both of them lost their sons in Gaza. And it's super difficult to move on. But the fact that you have hope, and what we see in these businesses, in these business owners, is that they all have resilience and hope, because you have to have resilience in this country, especially if you have a small business. But the fact that they have so much hope that what they do will thrive, and they continue without, even though the challenges keep coming, is unbelievable. And I think the best way to understand how much hope they have and how much belief they have in themselves, so we want and we help believe in themselves as well, is that even though we have already, like I said, for our 580 businesses, that they are all paying back their loan every month. So that is something that we didn't even predict. We had a feeling that, because many businesses in Israel closed, many businesses didn't actually thrive. But the fact that all of them are able to pay back their loan monthly, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that's incredible, especially during those times. So how do you maintain the sense of hope and motivation when, things got really tough like this, especially as a business owner?
Listen, I don't think we have much choice. And because we're building a country and we're continuing to build a country for our next generations. We all are in the Jewish world. We're not only here in Israel, but also the support that comes from around the world. And I must say that the core of support that has come in since October 7th is unbelievable and very heartwarming. So the fact that we know that we're in this together and we have really a kind of a family of a mishpacha around the world that cares for this, it brings us and me a lot of hope, and that we know that we have to continue doing this work. We have to continue bringing a light, even though there's so much darkness, because otherwise what will we leave for our children? This is a country that is super, super, super important to us. So this is so much has been shed in order for this country to thrive and to be. Our duty is to continue that. So that's what brings me hope.
Yeah. So beyond the financial support that SparkIL offers, how do you help those business owners emotionally or mentally navigate the stress of juggling their, service or being taken away from their homes and all these things, and plus the responsibilities of being a business owner in this, such environment?
So I'll say there are a few ways. First of all, we collaborate with many, many other organizations. So some of them come to us after they're going through different processes that they need emotional support, and they know in their organization that we can help them also in a certain financial way. Some of them within our community of borrowers, of our business owners, they receive different, even on Monday, we're coming together with 200 business owners with Ogin, part of this community of borrowers, in order to continue that support and being there for them, to meet each other and to kind of give them also a little bit of a refreshing time. But we also have the opportunity to give them mentors, either they're professional ones to thrive their business, or that they need different kind of support. So like I said, each one of them at a different time needs something different. So we offer them various opportunities for different kind of support alone. Someone can say, I don't need something now, but when we call them again in 3 months and we reach out, they said, okay, now I feel that this is something that I need. Can you connect me? Can you do it? And that's what we do. So it's being in contact with them all the time. It's like an ongoing relationship, and being sure that we can help as much as we can from our end.
So what is like one or two success stories that you're particularly proud of that you guys managed to help someone?
There's so many. I'll give you one example from the north and one example from the south.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example of a cafe in Sderot. And she had actually 2 cafes, and she was in the kibbutz, the business owner. In kibbutz, it is on October 7th. She's a single mom with her 2 children, and she was like in the safe room with a knife. The terrorists came very close and then ran off. But what happened was they also came into the businesses and destroyed both, also in the kibbutz, but also in Sderot. And from there, they were shooting into the police station. That evening, when she came out, she of course left the kibbutz, went with her parents, and left the girls there in order to see what happened. And she's also was in the army service for many years. So she automatically also went to reservists. So she has 2 businesses that she doesn't know what to do with them. She has 2 kids out of her house, and she's back into the army. And she really didn't know what to do. And she was about to go bankrupt. Because about a year before she opened the second one in Sderot, and she took like a very, very large loan from the bank, and they weren't prepared to give her another loan.
Yeah.
And then she heard about SparkIL. We gave her a loan instantly. We saw a potential in what she did before, and she just needed a little bit of air. And we knew that she was in the IDF, and that's when she says it. That's what saved her. She knew that she could just pay her employees. She knew that she could pay back the rent in order for her to be able to see, okay, I'll overcome, but I need that someone saw me. And she was, and she's doing wonderfully. I mean, she's unbelievable. I bring a lot of groups to her cafes in order for her to continue to thrive. And she's really a remarkable woman. The second story is about a farmer up in the north, and he's also an IDF reservist. And he grows olives, and he has been in reserve for almost 500 days already.
Oh,
And
wow.
he lost his wife 2 years before the war, so he also is by himself, and with two grown children. That one of them also went to the reserve, so there was no one to take care of everything that was happening with the olive trees. But when he came back between, I would say, he's now going back again into Gaza, but in between, he understood that he has to revive his business. So he asked for a loan. We went through everything, and we again saw the potential. We saw what happened, what was there before, and he received a loan. And it's unbelievable to see how much resilience and how much strength he has, and the business is doing so well, and it's beautiful to see. So it's, for us, it's inspiring to see these people, and how, like I said, how much belief they have in themselves. So anyone around the world, where they go on the site, can say, okay, these businesses were vetted, these stories are super special. Now let's see who we want to connect to. We have lenders that are like have supported multiple businesses. Some say to me, it's like, just to read these stories is so inspiring. Okay, I didn't even
Yeah.
say, give $36. That's the minimum. Almost anyone can give $36, and you can give up to any amount that you want. So if you want to give $100 to one and $36 to another and $200, you can, and you can become part of their success story. It's not a shame.
So how do you connect the Jewish community in the diaspora to those businesses, or to the Jewish community in Israel?
So there are different elements of how we do it. So I started saying before, first of all, we work with federations, and that they can bring it to their communities in different ways. Some of them raise funds, and then they have an allocation committee that is multi-generation, and then they decide who they want to allocate, which businesses they want to do. Some of them allocate the money and then bring it back to the schools or to JCCs or to synagogues in order to do so. And what the programs that we help run is that we come to a school, we talk to either the principal or teachers, and we do some kind of a session with the teachers. And there are different ways in order to implement it in the schools. Some did something towards October 7th, Memorial Day, and doing it also this year. Some do things around Thanksgiving, around Hanukkah, around Yom Ha'atzmaut. Some do it around Parashat Shekalim, when they talk about Machatzit Shekel and what it means to have interest-free loans. So there are different ways in order to do so around the year, and they also bring it with content and with values. So there are different ways to do it like that. Like I said, we do Bnei Mitzvah projects. So they're beautiful to see how synagogues and private people come to us and say, oh, we want to raise funds. Our kids want to raise funds in order to choose a business at the end and support them, or bring their friends to do so. Or that we say, okay, this is amazing. We had this quite a few times already, to bring a gift card for every participant in the bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah, for them to support a business in Israel. So there are different ways. And the last thing I'll say is, it's important also to have these fellows. So we have fellows in campuses, and they then recruit their friends, but they also have an agenda about talking about Israel in a different kind of way. It's all about the people. It's nothing political. It's nothing about, there's no government involved, nothing about it. It's about helping and seeing the people. And that's why it really is peer-to-peer lending. It's who from one side wants to help another. And in Israel, we're working with Israeli companies that want their employees to be part of it, or working with schools. So there's multiple ways to connect and really bring those lenders to learn about these borrowers.
That's amazing. So in your view, how has the landscape for business owners shifted, particularly for those, impacted by the war directly or in military service in Israel right now?
How is it impacted? Listen, it's very difficult. We hear it all the time. First of all, I have to remember the ones that are in the IDF, they come and go, some of them for months and months, and their business and their spouses are trying to, be the both parents at home and to keep the business. And most times they have their, a job of their own. So of course these businesses are affected. Because this war has also been going on so long.
Yeah.
And what we see is the need for bridging loans. We see the need for, sometimes when they come back, they need new equipment. They need to revive the business in a certain way. They need capital. Each one has their own need. But what we do see, unfortunately, that many of the businesses have taken over time so much loans from banks and others, and they don't have another way in order to continue. So we're also cautious. We don't want to help. We don't want to give a loan to a business owner that already has too much debt, because otherwise they won't be able to pay back the loan. And not only they won't be able to pay back their loan, we're just going to get them deeper in the mud. So that's not what we want to do. We look at this in a social way of helping the people that can also pay back. That's part of our duty, and also to our lenders, but also to the business owners.
So what advice would you give someone facing those challenges right now? And what would you tell them to help them keep on going?
I think that the best thing for them to do is find the right advice, and be careful with that as well, because there's so many people that give advice for a lot of money and not necessarily that's the right way to go. But there really are quite a few organizations in Israel that are helping with mentors, and it can be from there's a whole area from the government that doesn't cost a lot of money, and there are NGOs that are doing that, which is with very, very, very low cost. Seek someone to talk to that can understand how to run a business, because when we partner with Keren Shemesh, for example, within Ogun, they have 1,200 mentors from very high level professionals in the industry. So they know what it means to run a business. So when you connect to someone like that understands you, it can kind of help you understand how to get out of your situation, or to walk you through it, or to know also where to get different kinds of support. That's number one. Understand, first of all, where you are. Some of them, I think, what's important to say, and what we saw, is you have to be very creative. And luckily, that's I would say, an Israeli characteristic. But in order to be able to come back, and sometimes you need to change your model. Sometimes you need to change the business, the product. It's not easy, but the ones that are agile and are able to do so, and sometimes with the right support, are the ones that also usually can thrive over time and take this over time, which is also very important to know.
Yeah, I guess in those circumstances, you have to keep an open mind and see where you can maybe change things to make things a little bit better.
Right. Even though you planned X, you might now need to do Y, because circumstances have changed.
Yeah, that's true. So on a lighter and more personal note, when you do get a chance to unwind from all the work that you do and all the pressure, in life with your sons and everything, what is your go-to to relax or recharge?
Oh, wow. First of all, I love playing board games. So when I do. So it's so funny. I can call 11 o'clock and say, who's available now to play a board game? So we can just, open a board game downstairs on the coffee table. I love doing puzzles. That's kind of meditative in a way. I like very large puzzles. So it's like always waiting there for me when I need some time. And I love the sea and hiking. Nature, it really fills me. And of course, I don't love doing sports, but I do that as well because it's also needed, but it also energizes back. So that's kind of, being with my husband and my kids. What do you need more? And now you really understanding what is precious and what's important. And when they come home, it's just sitting with them and listening and, being spending precious time.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes you don't
You need
appreciate
that.
it enough.
Yes. But I feel like
Yes,
the soul needs that, to spend
the
that time with
soul
those
must
people that
totally,
mean so much.
totally, and because we understand how not to take it for granted,
Hmm.
it's even more so. It's
Do you, yeah. Do you feel like that throughout your years in that field and working as with nonprofits and helping people, do you feel like you made a big impact? And do you see yourself continuing in the work with this company or a different company in the future?
I would say the answer is yes, yes, and yes. I don't know. I mean, I want to hope and say that made and then continue making a big impact, but that's um, might be subjective.
Yeah.
I do feel that I am able and I create change wherever I am, which is something that's important to me. And really seeing far and planting seeds, because almost everything I did in life, and every position I did, I started something from scratch with a vision and bringing it to life and being there for a few years. So I don't see myself in any other area other than in the social arena, in NGOs. It's just what gives me the spark to wake up every morning and to know that I can do good. And luckily, this is it's like a dream job, and luckily I have it.
How has it
It's not.
impacted your life? Like we talked about you impacting others, but how has the whole thing impacted you personally and your life
Listen,
since the
for me,
beginning?
yeah, I mean, I'm at Spark 3.5 years.
Mhm.
I knew nothing about finance 3.5 years ago, and nothing in marketing, nothing in technology. I didn't come from these worlds. And for me to learn so much every day about new areas and being able to come to and have deep discussions about things I didn't know before, it impacts me and brings me to be an lifelong student.
Mhm.
And learning all the time from experts that know much more than I do, which is what's super important. And then bringing it back. So it's the opportunity to learn all the time and build on that and doing another step and helping others with the knowledge that I have, and building a team and bringing on the right people. And I have an amazing team and an amazing board, very, very smart people and, well connected. It's important. So
Yes,
being able to create those connections and learning from them every day, that, is what inspires me too.
that's amazing. So if people want to learn about SparkIL, where can they find information? And
The easiest thing to do is to go online, www.sparkil1word.org. And everything's there, everything that I mentioned. First of all, become a lender. As a private person, there's an educational place that you can come and you can learn about the different opportunities and connect with us. You can send us, of course, an email. You can send me a personal email. Always, anyone in the team, if you want to become a campus ambassador, a fellow, you can fill out a form. We'll get back to you. There are different opportunities. Everything's on the site. Very easy to navigate. You can learn about the people and what we do. If you want to be a partner, if you want to become a partner and a donor, anything is relevant. We want this to be bigger as we move forward. We're having conversations also now, starting also outside of the US and in Israel, in Australia, in Mexico, in Europe. This is a potential of a connection for anyone, anywhere, in because it's such a low entry point and it's so tangible and you see exactly who you're helping. It's good for the soul
yeah,
just to be part of it. So
that's
I welcome
amazing.
anyone that wants to be part of it.
All right. Well, Nama, thank you so much for being here. Hopefully, people check out the website and learn more about the organization, and if they can help.
Of course.
And yeah, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Same here. Thank you so much. Thanks for
Thank you.
having me.
Thank you all for listening. Until next time.